For the longest time, I thought I was just average. Not terrible at anything, not exceptional either. Just another face in a crowd. The kind of person you walk past without remembering. I accepted that story because it was easier than questioning it. Whenever someone did something incredible, I'd tell myself, they're different. They're naturally talented. They're smarter. They're more confident. They were born with something I wasn't. That explanation protected me. Because if they were simply different, then I never had to ask what I was capable of. I could stay where I was. I was safe, comfortable, average. But one day, I started noticing something strange. Every person I admire had a beginning that looked ordinary. They weren't born speaking perfectly. They weren't born confident. Some were just unsuccessful as well, embarrassed of themselves, doubting themselves. They failed in front of people. The only difference was that they kept moving after everyone else decided who they were. And then I realized something that completely changed the way I saw myself. Average isn't a type of person, it's a snapshot. It's what someone looks like before they spend enough time becoming who they're capable of being. We act like average is an identity, as if someone are simply born to live ordinary lives forever. But who decided that? At what age were we measured and permanently labeled? When did someone look at us and say, "This is all you'll ever be"? No one did. I did. Every time I compared my beginning to someone else's middle, every time I assumed their confidence was natural instead of earned, every time I dismissed my own potential because it hasn't appeared yet, I kept calling myself average while expecting extraordinary results from a version of me that I never gave a chance to exist. The truth is, I've never actually met an average person. I've only met people who gave up too early, people who were afraid to try, people who believe that the story they've been telling themselves since they were children. I've met people who never discovered what they were capable of because they stopped searching. But average? I don't think that's real. Every person I've ever known has something that can't be replaced. The way they think, the way they love, the way they solve problems, the way they make people laugh, the way they say beauty in places everyone else ignores. You could line up 1,000 people in one room, and not a single one would have lived the exact same life. Not a single one would think exactly the same. Not a single one who would leave the same fingerprint on the world. So why do we keep calling ourselves ordinary? I think it's because average feels safe. If I'm average, I don't have to risk failing. If I'm average, I don't have to carry the weight of my own potential. If I'm average, then disappointment becomes easier to explain. But the moment you stop calling yourself average, something uncomfortable happens. You become responsible for what you could become. And that's terrifying, because now you can't hide behind excuses forever. You have to find out. You have to try. You have to risk proving yourself you're wrong. I used to think confidence came from believing I was special. Now I think it comes from realizing I never needed to be. I don't have to be better than everyone else. I don't have to be the smartest person in the room. I don't have to become famous to justify my existence. I just have to stop shrinking myself into a word that was never meant to describe a human being. I'm not average. Not because I'm above anyone else, but because no human being can be summarized by a single label. We are too complicated for that, too shaped by our memories, too marked by our struggles, too full of contradictions, too capable of changing. Maybe I won't become the person I imagine, maybe I'll become someone completely different. But the version of me deserves a chance. Not because I'm destined for greatness, but because I finally stopped believing that I was born to be ordinary. And maybe that's the biggest lie I ever told myself. Not that I wasn't enough, but that I was somehow just another average person. As if life this unique could ever fit inside a word that small.